Hey Rose, it's Friday. Okay, so there are two words that everyone knows we are not supposed to use. Many still do, but they really shouldn't. Those words are gay and retarded. And if you're like me, even hearing someone use these words just makes you cringe. But there is a third word, a word that people often use without thinking of the consequences, a word that to most doesn't even sound like an inappropriate word. But it is. That word is ghetto. To understand why we shouldn't say ghetto, let's break down the other two. The reason gay and retarded are so unacceptable in our society is because they are or were human descriptors that have changed just enough for people to be able to use them as negative adjectives. First, gay. Now, gay is a slight exception because gay is an acceptable term for homosexual. Many homosexuals identify as gay. Even many bisexual or transgender people identify as gay. So really, anyone who doesn't fall onto the hetero cisgender end of the spectrum could identify as gay. So the one acceptable way to use gay is as that identifier. Elton John is gay. Ellen DeGeneres is gay. Tyler Oakley is gay. But you notice how I'm not using that word negatively. It's just a statement with absolutely no emotional charge behind it. I could just as easily say that all three of those people are blonde. Because they are. And gay. So out of these three words, this gives gay the only exception because there is a correct way to use it. However, that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is this. Oh man, I had such an awful morning. It was just so gay. Man, get out of here with that! Because people identify as gay, to use this word as a negative adjective, you are trivializing the worth of an entire group of people. Same thing with retarded. Retarded technically means to slow down, but historically was used to describe anyone with a mental disability. Nowadays, we prefer to use someone's diagnosed disorder as an identifier. He has Down syndrome. She's autistic. He has depression or anxiety. If you want to be more broad or you don't know someone's specific disorder, we use the general term mental disorder or mental disability. It is never acceptable to call someone retarded, therefore it is not a word that we should ever be using as a negative adjective. Here is when it is okay to say retarded. When I stepped on the garden hose, the flow of water was retarded, as in slowed down. Because that's what the word means. Okay, so what about ghetto? People use ghetto as a way to avoid sounding racist. So instead of hearing, I don't like him because he's black, which would obviously offend everyone, you're much more likely to hear, I don't like him because he's pretty ghetto. But guess what? That is still just as racist. But actually more than just racist, because ghetto is actually a double whammy, and here's why. Let's go to the roots of the word. A ghetto is an area of a city where a minority group is forced to live because of social or economic pressure from the majority. This is always because of racial, ethnic, or religious differences. But the people who are forced into this also suffer through poverty because there are very few opportunities for such an extremely marginalized group of people. So just like using gay as a negative adjective is offensive to homosexuals, or using retarded as a negative adjective is offensive to anyone with a mental disability, using ghetto as a negative adjective is offensive to not only racial and religious minorities, but anyone who is going through financial problems or who is suffering through poverty. It's just not fucking cool. Okay, here's the deal. If you take everyone that fits into one of those categories, that is, for retarded, anyone with a mental disability, for gay, anyone who doesn't identify as hetero cisgender, and for ghetto, anyone who is non-white, non-Christian, or suffering through poverty, and you add all those people together, that is most people. So if you are using these words, the majority of people around you think that you are a fool. And that includes me. We need to start looking at each other more complexly and not just as side characters in our main story. Everyone is the main character of their own story, just like you are the main character of your story. Everyone's life is just as complex as yours, and they have just as many adjectives and identifiers to describe who they are as you do. And when we start using these words incorrectly, we not only offend people, but lower the quality of life for those around us. And on that note, everyone have a great weekend, hopefully not offending anybody. And Rose, we will see you on Monday. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I have just a couple quick announcements. Yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of the very first video uploaded to YouTube, so I wrote a cool little article about it. Check it out, the link's in the description. It has pictures and GIFs in it, so don't worry internet, it's cool. Also, if you remember, Rose and I have a movie review channel called NARM Movies, but when we were dealing with all that cyber attack stuff from the KKK a few months ago, we kinda put it on hiatus. Well, I am so excited to announce that this Tuesday, NARM Movies will be back! We'll be watching a movie this weekend, so if there's a movie on Netflix that you would like us to review, let us know in the comments so we can watch it. Okay, thanks Narvals. Bye.